The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have always appeared united in their choices and decision-making, including when they announced they would be stepping back from royal family duties in January 2020. But Pauline McLaren, Professor of Marketing and Consumer Research at Royal Holloway, University of London, says that behind the power couple with their fairly coherent brand image together, difficulties adjusting to one another's lifestyles are evident at key moments. Professor McLaren told that individually, they have had very different brand images. She added that Meghan's brand was orientated around her status as a, previously, minor Hollywood celebrity associated with the Suits brand, whereas Prince Harry was embedded in the royal family brand and is not yet comfortable with Hollywood celebrity culture. She said, "The mix of these different brand cultures is bound to create tensions at times and certainly did when Meghan tried to be a working royal during their time in England." Professor McLaren, who is a co-author of Royal Fever, also referenced Prince Harry and Meghan's recent appearance at the NAACP Image Awards, where many onlookers thought the Duke appeared wooden on stage compared to his wife. Professor McLaren claimed Harry's unease reflected the difference between the brands with which the husband and wife pair were familiar, and that he is not yet comfortable with Hollywood celebrity culture. In the Duke and Duchess's explosive interview with U.S. chat show host Oprah Winfrey, Meghan described her alienation within the royal family household. This included feeling left adrift by a lack of guidance on the rules she must adhere to as a member of the royal family, which she was not familiar with given her upbringing in the U.S. She said, "There was no guidance. Unlike what you see in the movies, there's no class on how to speak, how to cross your legs, how to be royal. That was not offered to me. Even down to the National Anthem. No one thought to say, 'Oh, you're American, you're not going to know that.' So that's me, late at night, Googling it." She added, "I grew up in LA, I see celebrities all the time, but it's not the same. This is a completely different ballgame." In a later interview with the Duchess's personal friend, Ellen DeGeneres, she described her life before the royal family, when she lived, worked and auditioned for parts in Los Angeles. She described how their family was happy with the move to her home state of California and the new life they were creating outside of the firm. She told the chat show host, "We moved here during lockdown, exactly when things shut down, so we've just been able to spend a lot of time at home and creating our home, but I think it's just the lifestyle and the weather is pretty great. But we're just happy." Prince Harry's attendance at the Queen's Jubilee celebrations later this year have been called into question, after he revealed he won't be flying to the UK for Prince Philip's memorial. Prince Charles' former butler Grant, who is known as the Royal Butler, told, "The next question is will he then come over for the Jubilee celebrations? It's possibly the last big celebration that the Queen will have and he's been at every other one, so is that going to mean he is not going to be at this final one as well? Which, from my point of view, I would find really sad. Families have fallouts and disagreements, we've all been there, but with these kind of big events you don't want to be there to show support if you can be there." Meanwhile, royal biographer Tom Bower said the chance of Harry attending the Jubilee was unlikely, due to the upcoming release of his book. He said, "I think Harry won't come back because he knows he cannot face his family, and be pleasant with him, knowing what he's written about them in that book. That book will have a lot of casualties and cause a lot of hurt. It will really deliver, as Harry knows it has to justify the money he's been paid to do it. How can Harry come back and pretend it's all fine? The worst of what he will say is yet to come." Grant added that he feels the Queen, 95, would be shocked over Harry's decision not to attend Philip's Thanksgiving service on Tuesday, 29th of March. He explained too, "When I worked at the household I was very aware of how close Prince Harry is to his grandparents, both grandparents. And I think that's quite obvious from footage that's been released over the years. Obviously you saw him do the mic drop with the Queen on the Invictus Games and all that kind of humor. Although you never saw that with Prince Philip, the relationship with Prince Philip and Prince Harry was very close." Grant added, "I think in some ways Prince Harry reminds the Queen of Prince Philip, so he was close to his grandfather and is, as far as I'm aware, close to his grandmother. So it is a shock that he is not coming over."